Hey everybody, this is Heather Clark with Running Totally Free. You can find me at my Facebook page, Running Totally Free in High Heels. And I am here today to talk to you about something that, like I said in my description, may cause you to lose total respect for me. Yes, I went dumpster diving. Dun 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 dun! All right. One day, not too long ago, I was just scrolling through my YouTubing app, and as I tend to do, because I'm always looking for new people to listen to while I'm running or as I'm going on errands, and I like to look for new people, particularly about the whole finance world, and I want to have, new inspiration. And I came across this one picture and it said Frugalnista. And it said, look, I think it was something along the lines of, look what I found, Michael's $2 deals for free. Now I had just previously listened to someone talk about the $2 deals, their $2 Michael's deals haul. And some of you who shop at Michael's, which I know I have friends here locally who actually go there to that craft store like myself, who probably are aware of these deals. I feel like I've seen them before, but never really, it didn't register in my mind what they were. But apparently they are like kind of like an adult grab bag, the adult version. You could get kind of scary when you say that, of a grab bag where you can't see what's inside, but there's, when you open it, there's things that were on like the 90% clearance area, and now they've all been thrown in a bag, and so you pay $2 for it, and you don't really know what you're going to get until you've paid your $2, and then you look inside, and there might be something really cool. There might be like a wire basket, or there might be some doodads for scrapbooking. You just don't know what you're going to find, so you pay your $2 in the hopes that whatever you find will be something that you will enjoy. And so this one couple had shared, the husband was so sweet. He had come home with, I think, $20 worth of $2 gift bags or surprise bags and brought them home. His wife hadn't known that he was going to do this. And so she opened them and videoed herself opening them, and you got to see. So I think that was kind of like how this came to be, that underneath of that was Frugalnista saying she got hers for free. And I was like, well, wait a second. This other lady said she paid for all of hers. So she goes, Frugalnista explains that she goes dumpster diving, except she says she had another name for it. And she said, and she's Dominican, and she said it in a way that does not come across as waspy white lady, which is how I would say it. And it was something along the lines of, you wouldn't see this big, this tiny, bending over any dumpster. So I go, I think she said like dumpster picking. And so she only reaches in. So whatever she can reach for is what she gets. She won't go inside of a dumpster. I think to be pure dumpster diving, you actually get into the dumpster and walk around in there and rip open bags and find stuff for free. So it ends up that her local Michael's had, after this sale, anything that was left, they threw in the trash. That's what the store policy is to do. They take all of those items. They don't have a policy to like sell them to like a Tuesday morning or anywhere else. They take those items and they just throw them away. This is America. That's what we do, don't we? We throw things away. And so she went back there and she took all those bags and she brought them home, and she filmed herself opening these bags, and she had some amazing stuff. I mean, who would have thought that even after all these people clearing out these $2 surprise bags, that there'd be anything left to have? But she had like memo pads, like the kitchen refrigerator magnet pads. She had I think it was like after the spring clear out. So she had like little topiary ornament type kind of things. What else did she have? She had some wire baskets. I can't even remember it all. So I was like, I think I want to watch this Frugalnista lady a little bit. So I watched, Abby and I actually watched, kind of binge watched, and I think it was when we were yard sailing, in between, what I would do is I would put it on my little tray. So I would be listening and she'd be watching and she'd be like, Mommy, wait till you see. And so we'd stop in front of like the next house and we'd park, we'd watch this and be just blown out of our minds. And then we came home and we sat at the kitchen table and we'd watch more. And I'd watch it while I was doing laundry. So she goes to places like Home Goods. I think I put that up on my Facebook page. She got these beautiful chairs from Home Goods for free that were just put in, I don't know if it was outside the dumpster or on top of the dumpster. She said she doesn't climb in anywhere. She went to CVS, and after Christmas, she got all these free ornaments, this big thing of Santa hats and stockings, and it was unbelievable. She goes to, apparently Justice has a strip mall store location. I don't think this would happen at the mall, she said, because you wouldn't be able to access their trash. But Justice, they have a dumpster. So they have, and this was something new I learned, they have a damage sheet. They are actually told by corporate that they are to throw away certain items. And so she, in some situations, she'll come across a plastic bag that has an actual readout, from the computer, a printout that has the items that are to be, I don't know if the word's damaged. Maybe I should take that back. That's a different store. Items that are supposed to be physically damaged, that they're supposed to put in a bag, squeeze stuff over it, and throw it away. They're told to damage it. Justice isn't told to damage it. They're told to trash it. So what they do is they just put it in a bag and they throw it away. So that might be things like what I saw on her thing was those journals, the little fuzzy journals, pillows. What else do they sell there? A lot of the tweeny type stuff, little purses, earrings, tons and tons of little necklaces that the little girls love, maybe lipsticks, whatever's kind of not necessarily clothing items, although she did have a couple clothing items, socks, whatever's all the accessory and gift kind of type merchandise. She had bags and bags of these items. It was unbelievable. So she goes to Dollar Tree, she goes to Family Dollar, she goes to Bath and Body Works, she goes to, where else? Oh goodness, she gave me so many ideas. She goes to Staples and Office Max and some stores I haven't heard of before because she's up in New Jersey. And so, I got, at first, honestly, guys, I felt probably the way you're feeling right this moment. I was horrified because I thought, I don't think I could ever dumpster dive. My first impression, the first time, which wasn't that day, I had heard of dumpster diving before. I always thought of it as these people who the people who go and they get all their food from dumpsters and that's how they feed themselves. Not necessarily homeless, but just really, really cheap. And I mean, there's documentaries done on them. That's what I thought dumpster diving was. And I still think that, I know that that's a majority of what dumpster diving is. But I came to realize from listening to her and then kind of Googling it a bit and doing some research that there is an element of the population that isn't really out there for that. They just have come to learn that bigger corporations aren't, I don't know if they're just can't be troubled by it. I'm not gonna form an opinion. I'm just gonna state what happens is that they put a lot of product out there, they throw it away instead of donating it to organizations that might be able to find a good use for it. We'll just put it like that. So as I've thought about it over the days, I thought, that's very interesting. Well, I want to go see what this is about. And I'm always ready for an adventure. And I thought, I would just want to see if this is real. I mean, okay, so I know she's doing this out in New Jersey, and I know there's people like across the United States who are doing this, but is this for real? And so I did want to find out first, is this like legal? Are these people doing this just on the sly? And this is like, you could get in big trouble. So first I found out that across the United States, anything that's put in a dumpster is actually legal. Once it's in the trash, it's actually considered public property. And then I found out that in Georgia, it is legal as long as there are no signs that say no trespassing. Obviously, if the dumpster's locked, you're not supposed to be breaking the lock and getting in there. If it's like behind an enclosure and closed up, again, that's the message, don't go in there. You know, things like that. Anything that would be very obviously saying, you know, no trespassing, that private property, you know, somebody's private home. You know, back in, it reminds me of back in the days when Michael and I used to live in New England, there was kind of something called like a Yankee swap. There was a newspaper that had, you know, willing to swap this or that items. Are you interested? And then it was kind of a known thing that, kind of an understood thing, that if you put something out on your curb that you were saying, we don't want this, go ahead and take it if you have a need for it. And so we would put things out on our curb with the intention of saying, please somebody take this, rather than, you know, let it go to the landfill. There was a much better recycling program up there than there is, at least where we live in Georgia. You know, it was very, very strict. And in other areas of Georgia, it might be more strict as well. It's just not where we live right here. And then we also took advantage, especially as newlyweds, of the, you know, take it from the curb. It's free at the curb. So, you know, this idea isn't all that unfamiliar to me, but it's just a little weird going to a business and doing it. So the other day I thought, I just want to go try it, you know? So I did. And so, I hope you haven't all just turned me off, you know, now, and you're like, oh, I can't listen to her anymore. But just for the sake of being curious, just stay with me here, okay? Because this leads to some good stuff. So I'm not going to go in order because I really want to put the first place I went to last, because that's kind of where the story ends. All right, so one of the places that I went to was Bath and Body Works, and honestly, they didn't have a whole lot, and theirs was probably the most pleasant dumpster, because all it was really was some cardboard boxes and then these bags, and I kept seeing these bags, and I'm like, all right, what's the big deal? What's the deal with the bags? I mean, I know they use these bags to give you their product when you buy them, and I realized this one doesn't have it, but a lot of them were stapled and they were heavy. Well, what I came to figure out was if they were stapled and they were heavy, what was inside of them were candles. This one was completely intact. This one, by the way, is called 1,000 Wishes. And I guess these are candles that they burned in the store. This one smells amazing. And I guess because it had been burned, they threw it away. Isn't that interesting? Corporate America felt that this wasn't worth, I don't know, I guess there's nothing they can do with it. Once it's been burned, they can't sell it, so they throw it away because they just felt it was not worthy to burn it again. I don't know. I mean, is the store only stinky some of the time? I don't get this, guys. But they threw it away, and it was my gain, so I took it. Now, most of the time, I will say with the candles, most of them were burned down like halfway. This one was the worst. I mean, this was burned down most of the way. But, I mean, I love candles. I really do. So I like to burn them, especially in the winter. I like to have a candle burning almost every day because it's something about that is just comforting to me. And a lot of these were broken, some in worse condition than others, like this one. This one's broken. However, what I found is because our counters are granite and they have no bounce, if you wrap this in a towel and just let it drop minimally, it will actually, the pieces will come off, and then I just have a pillar candle. And then I put it on a plate and I let it burn. So they're like 1 or 2 use candles, but that's free. So I thought, you know what, that's kind of cool. I would go back every once in a while and get myself a couple candles to burn. They're just going to throw them away anyway. And I don't know about you, but I can't stand Febreze candles. I have a bad reaction to Glade candles. I don't know what it is. They're too chemically to me, but like the Bath and Body Works, the better kind of candles, actually I don't feel nauseous after a while after smelling them. So that was kind of a good find. So I might consider going back. And then I also found, which was kind of interesting, was a bottle of lotion. So I'm just telling you, this was what was in the dumpster. I guess maybe this was a tester, or maybe, I don't know. It has a D on it, which I guess meant damaged, but I can't tell how it was damaged because it doesn't look damaged. It's not cracked. There's nothing wrong with it. So I don't know. So I just, you know, I brought things back first to show my kids the proof of the waste, and also to say, yeah, this exists. This is what's going on. And also to show you guys, because I think it's interesting to see how different people in our country, you know, in our culture are dealing with, what do I want to say, how to stretch their dollars, how to survive. Because for some people, there are people out there, I saw this with some of the YouTubers, that they're actually like selling these things in flea markets, especially the things that you'll see they're getting from places like Five Below, which I'll talk with you about in a couple minutes. So those were interesting finds at Bath and Body Works, and gives you kind of a taste of what would have been found in that kind of a dumpster. Okay, so the next thing, and also I found products like from White Barn, which I guess is affiliated with Bath and Body Works. You guys might know more about that than I do. Okay, this is funny too. This is so funny. And I forgot to grab from my purse. I don't know why I put it in my purse. Oh, so my kids wouldn't see it that night. I went to Family Dollar, and there was this bag of stuff, and in the bag, which was such a crazy like combination of stuff, but there was like 3 pairs of lace underwear. But I'm telling you, the lace underwear was, I mean, it was just so hideous. And it was just, I can't even put words to it. Anyway, it just gave me a really good giggle. And it was my last store, and it was the end of my night, you know, my last dumpster, I mean, and it was just a good laugh for me. Anyway, I would not have bought these, but my daughter, would have thought these would be so much fun to play with. But I actually have another use for these, which I'll talk with you soon about. So anyway, so I found all these hair bands. Now at the store, they're charging $2 each. For whatever reason, they decided they should be in the trash. In my opinion, I wouldn't wear them, so they are trash worthy. But, you know, to each his own. Everybody's got their own taste. To somebody else, they're awesome. So, you know, whatever. But I'll talk about these and what I thought about in a minute. But I thought, well, at the least, you know, it occurred to me as I was driving home. But I was like, you know, Abby would wear a couple of them just for dress up. I also found these headbands. Also not my taste, but hey, dress up. Here's another one. I also went in Ulta, you know, that makeup store, and this was in one of their little bags that they threw away. Can't really see that very well, but it's a little white hair thing. And then this, which also cracked me up. It's like a bracelet / ring / earrings, which makes me laugh. Okay, so that was Family Dollar. I also went into I went to, I keep saying into, like I went in the stores. I forget what Frugalnista, I think Frugalnista calls it out of store shopping. Love that. So then I went over to Staples, and this was kind of cool. There was this bin, but I guess the reason why they took this off the shelves was because they didn't have the lid. The lid is lost. But it is a cute bin, and this could go on the shelf in one of my closets. And so what they had inside, which now I understand why this was considered damaged, why this product was considered damaged, I'll show you in a second, is there was a ream of, or a couple reams, I guess. Oh, and I guess that, well, this is just from being in the bin, but this is copy paper. It's yellow copy paper. So I guess somebody ripped it open, and they couldn't put it back in its packaging, so it was considered damaged. Well, for homeschooling, I have to print up all kinds of activity sheets and stuff all the time. So that was great for me because I don't care what color it is. So I can use this. This is great. This is free printer paper for me for school. I don't do unit studies, but I know a lot of homeschoolers do. So I was going to offer this up to my homeschooling community. These file folders, or anybody else, if you are watching me and you think of something, you need them, just let me know. But file folders, there's ways that you can fold these and turn these into what's called a unit study, and you like glue pictures. In fact, my friend Andrea might want these because she does that, I think. And anyway, there's lots of other purposes for file folders, and so these must have been out of their package as well, so they couldn't put them back on the shelf. And there was a random Sharpie. I found this. This must have been, the packaging must have been, you know, ripped apart or whatever. But this is, I can use this to put into the plug for my phone. And then somebody must have ripped open rubber bands because they were like this. So that was Staples. Isn't that interesting? Like, who would have thought? But yeah, I guess sometimes, you know, people ruin things at the store, or, you know, sometimes just in the everyday wear, things get damaged and they can't get things back into packaging. They can't fix that bag of rubber bands. I mean, what are they gonna, they don't have a replacement package for that. So what do? They throw it away. They're not going to take all that time to send it back to corporate or to whoever and rebag it. That costs more than the rubber bands are worth. So, okay. So now on to Five Below. So that was the first store I went to. And Five Below is probably the messiest dumpster. And I actually really bent over and reached in and ripped open a couple bags. But one of the rules of dumpster diving is that you never leave a trail. Like, you always are supposed to be very careful to always put everything, not make a mess. In other words, don't make a mess, be respectful. So I was very careful and respectful. And a lot of things were just right there anyhow. Like, for instance, the first things that I came upon were these wiffle bats, which, as you can see, one of them still has its label on it. The other one may have already. The kids have already played with these. In fact, I'm pretty sure the neighborhood kids and my son have already lost 2 of the balls. There were more of these wiffle balls, but they've been having so much fun playing with these already. There's also a red ball that matches this, but it's been lost already too. They've been having fun. I found 2 fit band covers, like rubber covers that just prettify, I guess, the fit bands. I already sent those to 2 neighbor girls who I know have those. And then I found this, it needs to be cleaned, but this iPad mini stand. So anybody who has an iPad mini, you're welcome to this. There was, I guess this is why this is damaged. There's a button missing, but this is DC Comics little buttons that I guess would make a kid happy. I know a little boy who will find this very enjoyable. It's a bubble wand. Also in there, there was this, I guess somebody opened it and put it back in, and that's why it was considered damaged. But it's a car mount for your phone, and all the pieces are there. That was in there. And then this, just the funky goo from like some kind of toy. Probably makes like those fart noises or something, got on this, and it's just a float. You know, it's just like an inner tube float, and I guess the packaging was ripped. I don't know. I told the kids try to blow it up. They haven't done it yet. See if it even blows up. It might not, whatever. You know, this was really meant, I think that was, I feel like I'm missing something. I think there were a couple more Five Below things, but I don't know where they are right now. But, you know, like I said, this was an experiment. I wanted to show you guys what was there. I wanted to show my kids, my husband, prove to myself. And I wanted to see what kind of waste there was out there that, you know, is this really true? Do these companies just throw things away rather than finding, you know, a good use for all these products? And I think it's true. They really do. They just throw it away. It's just too much time to find a new home for these things. So that brings me to my last point, and then I'll let you go. I got to thinking over the past couple days since I did that about this. You're probably very familiar with this program, Operation Christmas Child. It always seems to come upon us with us unprepared. You know, we're like rushing out there to go get our products to fit our Operation Christmas Child boxes. Like right around Thanksgiving, they start saying, okay, it's time to fill your Operation Christmas Child boxes. And you know, usually we go to places like Five Below or Family Dollar and find things that fit this size box. And as you can tell, something like a wiffle ball or a bouncy ball or a hair doodad or a headband or a bow. Maybe not pierced earrings, because I don't think someone necessarily, well, maybe somebody in Africa has pierced ears. I don't know. I don't know how hypoallergenic these things are. I'm trying to think what else I got. I don't think there's any iPad minis necessarily. Nor would I package a glass candle, but you get the idea. I think there are a lot of things that will come my way if I continue to do this, that will fit in these boxes. And, you know, it just seems to me if the corporate world's going to trash this stuff and it's just going to go in the landfill, why don't we rescue it and send it to some kids who would really, really love it? I mean, I brought this stuff home and the kids were like, ah. You know what I mean? They were just all over it. And it's the simplest, stupid toys, you know, they just had such a great time with. And I found it such a thrill, and surely there will be some children in some other country, you know, wherever, you know, our boxes get sent, who would feel, you know, a billion times more thankful. So that really makes me want to get out there and do it again. You know, it emboldens me to not be so horrified by the grossness of going out there and getting myself a little dirty. If I'm going to put a smile on some kid's face, so even if I just limited myself to going to Five Below and Family Dollar and where else, Dollar Tree. Now, see, I did check. Some of these places don't have dumpsters. I don't know what they're doing with their trash, but some of them didn't have dumpsters. So it does take some research. But you know, look around your town. If you have a heart for this, look around your town and see, you know, who has them, and see what you can do. Now, you know, don't think I haven't thought about asking the managers. The problem I'm concerned about is I think their directions come from above their heads. And unfortunately, sometimes in situations like this, people just do what they're told. They don't necessarily agree with what they're told, but they don't really have control. And I'm afraid what will happen is if I push it too far, then maybe they'll just decide to lock the dumpsters, and the answer will still be no. Do you understand what I'm saying? So believe me, I'm praying about this, because I don't think it's a mistake that I came across those videos. I don't think it's a mistake that those Operation Christmas Child boxes, it was while I was standing in the shower that I had this, that it popped in my mind that about Operation Christmas Child. So I kind of think this might be a God thing. Because I don't want to like have an attic full of stuff. I'm not interested in becoming a hoarder. I want to see how this can be a blessing to people. The other thing is, there might be some women in shelters who might want some of these little doodads, even for their daughters and sons. They might want some wiffle ball bats. There might be ways that there's some non-perishable items that that could be passed on. I don't know. I want to get creative here. So if you guys have ideas, I'll update you on products I've found, and I'll ask you questions like, what do you think I could do with this? Do you know anybody who needs it? I think we could have like a great ministry opportunity here. I know within my county and within your own counties. And I know that if you are on a limited budget, and if you've been following Financial Peace University, this might be an area where you feel like suddenly you're limited, and you feel a desire to give, but that you feel like constrained because you're really trying to hit your debt snowball hard. I think this is a good answer to that. So I'm sure I've talked long enough, and I apologize for that. I try to limit myself to how many minutes it takes my best friend to go to the bathroom and not have her kids knock her door down. I just had to put that in there, Stacy. I love you. Anyway, I guess that's it, guys. I hope you will not stop watching, talking to me again. I hope you won't walk in the other direction if you know me here in where I live. I hope we can still be friends, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.